Here's a question that changed the way I look at money. If you could only work 5 hours a week on a business, which business would you pick? Not 5 hours a day, 5 hours a week. That question came from a post on our Sweaty Startup where someone asked what businesses they could run without quitting their day job, without hiring a team, without sitting behind a counter for 10 hours straight. And the answers were wild. People were pulling in $4,000, $8,000, $12,000 a month running things that most people would never even consider a real business. No storefronts, no employees, no daily grind, just systems that quietly printed money while they lived the rest of their life. After studying the businesses with the highest owner freedom rates and the lowest daily time demands, I found a pattern. The businesses that don't need your attention all day aren't lazy businesses. They're smart businesses. They make money from assets, not hours. And the best part is, most of them are so boring that nobody's competing with you for them. Today I'm going to walk you through 12 of them. Some you've probably driven past 100 times and never noticed. Some you can start with less than $5,000. And the last one on this list has operators pulling in over $80,000 a month in recurring revenue while they check their phone for maybe 10 minutes a day. My name is John. Let's get into it. Business 12, cargo trailer rentals. Let me start with something that sounds almost too simple. You buy a cargo trailer, an enclosed 6x12 or 7x14. You park it somewhere accessible. You list it on platforms like Outdoorsy, Fat Llama, or even Facebook Marketplace. And then you wait. That's the whole business. A poster on our Sweaty Startup described buying 5 enclosed cargo trailers for $4,000 to $6,500 each. He listed them on rental platforms, set pricing at $75 to $150 per day, and averaged about 12 to 18 rental days per month per trailer. Monthly gross revenue across all 5 trailers was $5,000 to $8,000. His weekly time investment was about 3 to 4 hours total for coordinating pickups and running basic inspections. Here's the math. A single enclosed trailer costs $4,000 to $7,000 new. A used one goes for $1,500 to $3,000. Insurance runs about $500 to $500 a year per trailer. And the rental income per trailer averages $800 to $2,500 a month, depending on utilization. That's a payback period of 2 to 4 months on a used trailer. The DIY moving trailer rental market alone is valued at roughly $836 million and expected to exceed $1.2 billion by 2032, according to Allied Market Research. And here's the thing most people miss. The real money isn't in renting to people moving apartments. It's in B2B, construction crews, wedding planners, landscaping companies. They rent more often, they pay on time, and they damage the trailer less. One operator on our Sweaty Startup pivoted to renting specialized refrigerated trailers for $300 to $400 a day to restaurants whose walk-in coolers broke down. That's emergency demand. Nobody's price shopping when their $10,000 worth of inventory is about to spoil. And the beauty of it is trailers don't break down like cars. No engine, no transmission, no oil changes, just tires, lights, and a lockbox for self-serve pickup. You could be sitting in a meeting at your day job while someone picks up your trailer from a parking lot, uses it for 3 days, and returns it with a $375 charge, already processed on your Stripe account. That's what low attention looks like. Business 11, self-service dog wash stations. 67% of American households own a pet. That's according to the American Pet Products Association. And the pet care industry hit over $150 billion in 2025, with grooming and boarding making up more than $14 billion of that. But here's the part nobody talks about. Most dog owners hate the mess of washing their dog at home, and most don't want to pay $60 to $80 for a professional groomer to do a basic bath. That gap in the middle is where self-service dog wash stations live. On ROR Small Business, an operator shared that he set up 2 K9000 dog wash machines in a strip mall in Texas. Initial investment was about $25,000 per station, including plumbing and signage. Monthly revenue was $200 to $800 per station. His total time commitment was about 4 to 5 hours a week for cleaning and restocking shampoo. He described it as being like owning a car wash, but for dogs. The global self-service dog wash market is valued at approximately $1.5 to $175 billion and projected to grow at 10 to 15% annually, reaching nearly $3.88 billion by 2033. The typical charge per wash is $10 to $20, with variable costs of about $3.50 per wash for water and soap. That leaves a gross profit of about $14.50 per customer. And the customer does all the work. They wash, they dry, they leave. You refill the shampoo dispenser twice a week. Another poster on our Sweaty Startup described a standalone self-serve pet wash business with 4 stations in a converted retail space, generating about $8,000 a month gross with minimal labor since customers wash their own dogs. Payment was fully automated through card readers. The owner installed a simple security camera and checked footage from his phone. His biggest recurring expense was shampoo concentrate, which cost him about $200 a month. Here's the pattern you'll notice with almost every business on this list. The customer provides the labor. You provide the system. The system collects the money. It's not rocket science. It's just a shift in thinking. Most people try to sell their time. These businesses sell access to a tool. Business 10, parking space rentals through apps. This one is almost embarrassingly simple. If you own or lease a parking space in a city, near a hospital, near a stadium, or near a downtown business district, you can list it on apps like Spot Hero, ParkWiz, or Just Park, and collect monthly income for doing absolutely nothing. On our passive income, a user in Chicago shared that he rents out 2 parking spots in his condo building's garage through Spot Hero. Monthly income is $400 to $550 per spot, totaling $800 to $100 a month. His time commitment, and I'm quoting him directly, is literally zero. Spot Hero handles everything. I set it up 2 years ago, and I check the app maybe once a month to see the deposits. The U.S. parking industry is valued at approximately $131 billion, according to the International Parking and Mobility Institute. The smart parking market specifically is projected to reach $11.5 billion by 2027, according to Markets and Markets. And Just Park alone reports over 45,000 space owners earning passive income on their platform. But the bigger play is buying or leasing a vacant lot near a venue. One investor on RR Real Estate Investing described purchasing a vacant lot near a sports stadium for $120,000, paving it for $25,000, and renting 30 spots on game days at $30 to $50 per spot. Revenue during sports season averaged $4,000 to $6,000 a month, and in the off-season he rented to commuters at monthly rates for when I'm taking $100 to $2,500 a month. Think about it like this. If you sell a cup of coffee, you earn once and then you need to sell another cup. If you own a parking spot, you earn every single day the spot sits there. You don't even have to be awake. The app sells it for you, collects the money, and deposits it in your account. There's no inventory, no product to ship, no customer to physically serve. The app handles bookings, payments, and customer communication. You own the space. The space makes the money. Business 9, digital signage and networks. Imagine walking into a barbershop and seeing a flat screen TV on the wall showing local ads between sports highlights. That screen is a business. Someone owns it, someone sells the ad space on it, and someone collects the check every month. On Offer Entrepreneur, an operator shared that he runs a small digital signage network with 40 screens placed in barbershops, nail salons, and auto repair waiting rooms across a metro area. He charges local businesses $150 to $300 per month per ad slot and gives the venue owner either 15 to 25% of ad revenue or flat $50 to $100 per month. Monthly revenue across the network is $8,000 to $12,000. His time commitment is about 6 to 8 hours a week, mostly for sales calls and updating ad creative remotely through a cloud dashboard. The global digital signage market was valued at approximately $24.9 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach over $40 billion by 2030, according to Grand View Research. A single screen costs $300 to $800, plus a media player for $100 to $200. Cloud management software runs $10 to $30 per month per screen. A 10-screen starter network costs $5,000 to $12,000 total. Here's what nobody tells you. The hardest part isn't the technology. It's the first 10 sales calls. Once you've got 20 screens and 20 venues, advertisers start coming to you because you can offer reach across an entire zip code. And the content updates happen from your laptop at home. You never have to visit the screens unless one breaks, which is rare. Successful operators on our Entrepreneur recommend using QR codes and custom discount codes on each screen, so local advertisers can track exactly how many customers came from that screen. Once you can prove ROI, renewals happen automatically. One operator described his renewal rate as over 80% after the first 3 months. That's the moat. The longer those screens hang on those walls, the harder it is for anyone to replace you. Business 8, ice vending machines. There's a guy who posted on RR's Sweaty Startup about owning 3 twice the ice machines. He described his revenue as $2,500 to $4,000 per machine per month in the southern United States. His total maintenance time across all 3 machines was about 2 to 3 hours per week for cleaning, replacing filters, and collecting cash. He called it the closest thing to a money printer I've found. The U.S. packaged ice market is valued at approximately $3.5 to $4 billion annually, according to IBISWorld. Ice vending is a growing niche within that, and Twice the Ice alone has deployed over 2,700 machines across the country. The machines cost between $40,000 and $80,000 for a standard commercial kiosk, plus $5,000 to $15,000 for site preparation. But the margins are staggering. Producing 2,100 pounds of ice costs less than $100 in water and electricity. A 15-pound bag sells for $3, a 30-pound bag for $5.75. Gross margins run between 84 and 90%. Let's do the simple math. If a single machine generates $3,000 a month in revenue and your operating costs are $300 to $500 a month for water, electricity, and lot rent, you're netting $2,500 a month from one machine. That's $30,000 a year from a box that sits on a concrete pad and freezes water. 2 machines and you're looking at $60,000. 3 and you're approaching 6 figures, all while checking on them once a week. The machines run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Customers insert payment and ice comes out. You can monitor revenue and machine status remotely through a telemetry dashboard. There are no employees, no customer service calls, no appointment scheduling, just frozen water and math. And here's what makes this business almost unfairly simple. Ice is one of those things people never stop buying. It doesn't go out of style. There's no competition from Amazon. Nobody's disrupting ice. The demand is as old as civilization, and in hot climates, it spikes every summer without fail. Industry experts recommend positioning machines near boat launches, beaches, and campgrounds, places where local gas stations frequently run out of bagged ice in summer. That's when your machine becomes the only option within 5 miles. Still with me? Good. Because now we're entering the second half of the list, and the businesses here start getting more interesting and less obvious. Business 7, niche newsletter sponsorships. This one is different from everything else on the list because there's no physical asset, no machine, and no real estate. But the economics are identical. You build a system once, and it pays you every week. On Indie Hackers, a newsletter operator shared that his niche B2B newsletter focused on logistics and supply chain had reached 12,000 subscribers and was generating approximately $6,500 per month in sponsorship revenue. He spent about 5 to 8 hours per week writing and curating content, with a part-time virtual assistant handling subscriber management. His exact words were, "Once I built up the archive and the audience, sponsors started coming to me. I spend maybe 2 hours a week on the sponsorship side now." On Our Entrepreneur, another user documented growing a real estate investing newsletter on Beehive from 0 to 25,000 subscribers in 14 months, earning $4,000 to $8,000 per month through a combination of Beehive's ad network and direct sponsor placements. His strategy was simple. He batch wrote 4 editions on Sunday night and scheduled them for the week. The platform handled delivery, analytics, and subscription management. The email marketing industry was valued at approximately $12.3 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach $17.1 billion by 2027, according to Statista. Sponsorship rates for niche newsletters typically run $25 to $50 CPM, which means cost per 1,000 subscribers per send. A newsletter with 25,000 subscribers charging $30 CPM makes $750 per sponsored email. Send 4 a week with a sponsor in each, and that's $3,000 a week. $12,000 a month for writing a few emails. And here's the part that connects this to every other business on the list. The startup cost is essentially zero. Beehive and Substack have free tiers. Your only investment is time. And once the audience is built, the system runs on autopilot. You write once, and the same words reach 10,000 or 100,000 people simultaneously. Austin Kleon wrote in Show Your Work that the key to building an audience is consistently sharing valuable work in public. That's literally the entire business model here. Share something useful consistently. Build a list. Sell the attention. Business 6, RV and boat storage lots. There are approximately 11.2 million RV-owning households in the United States, according to the RV Industry Association. Boat registrations exceed 12 million, according to the National Marine Manufacturers Association. And most homeowners associations prohibit parking RVs or boats in driveways or on the street. So where do they all go? They go to lots like the ones I'm about to describe. On RR Real Estate Investing, an investor described purchasing a 2-acre lot on the outskirts of a mid-sized city in Arizona for $85,000. He graded it, added gravel and basic fencing for about $30,000, and rented 40 outdoor spots at $125 to $175 per month each. Gross monthly revenue was approximately $6,000 with minimal expenses. Net profit was around $4,500 to $5,000 a month. His time commitment was about 2 to 3 hours a week, primarily responding to new tenant inquiries. On the same subreddit, another poster discussed a covered RV storage facility with 30 covered spots at $250 per month each, generating $7,500 a month. He called it the most boring investment I've ever made, and I love it. The self-storage industry in the US, which includes RV and boat storage, is valued at approximately $44 to $50 billion. A basic open lot costs $50,000 to $200,000 to set up. Covered storage runs $150,000 to $500,000, depending on size. Profit margins for open lots run 60 to 80% because there's almost no overhead. Gate software handles entry, exits, and billing automatically. Tenants store their vehicles for months at a time, sometimes years, resulting in near zero daily customer interaction once the lot is built. And here's one more thing. Industry experts recommend installing solar canopies over the storage spaces. You charge premium rates for covered storage, and you sell solar energy back to the grid. 2 revenue streams from the same square footage. That's the kind of thinking that separates someone who owns a parking lot from someone who owns a wealth-building machine. The boring factor is your advantage here. Nobody dreams about owning an RV storage lot. That's exactly why there's room for you. When was the last time you saw a viral TikTok about someone grading a gravel lot? Never. And that's the point. Business 5, mailbox rental stores. This is a business that's been hiding in plain sight for decades, and most people walk right past it. A UPS store franchisee shared on our small business that his location had approximately 300 mailbox renters paying an average of $25 to $40 per month each. Mailbox rental revenue alone was $9,000 to $12,000 a month. His exact words were, "The mailboxes pay the rent and then some. Everything else, shipping, printing, notary, is gravy." The U.S. postal and mailbox services market is valued at approximately $10 to $12 billion annually, according to IBIS World. The UPS store franchise alone has over 5,000 locations, generating combined system-wide revenue exceeding $3 billion. And with the rise of remote work and e-commerce, demand for professional business addresses and package receiving has only accelerated. The profit margins on mailbox rentals specifically are 80 to 90%. Think about what you're selling. A small metal box with a key, no cost of goods, no consumables, no shipping, just space and a mailing address. And the retention rate is over 90% annually for business mailboxes because switching your business address is a pain nobody wants to deal with. Now here's the evolution that makes this even more interesting. Virtual mailbox services through networks like iPostal One and Anytime Mailbox let you serve digital nomads and remote workers globally. Mail comes in, you scan the envelope or the contents, upload it to a dashboard, and the customer reads it from their phone in Bali. That's recurring revenue from customers who never set foot in your store. Michael Gerber wrote in The E-Myth Revisited about building businesses that run on systems rather than the owner's constant presence. The mailbox store is almost a textbook example. Customers have 24/7 key access. Mail sorting takes 15 to 30 minutes a day. A part-time employee handles the counter. The owner checks in weekly. Business 4, cell tower land leasing. This one requires almost no work at all. If you own land, even a small piece in a suburban or rural area, telecom companies like T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon may pay you to put a cell tower on it. You sign a lease. They build the tower. They maintain the equipment. You collect the rent. A poster on our real estate investing described inheriting rural acreage that already had a tower lease generating $2,000 a month, income he didn't even know about until reviewing estate documents. Another user discussed receiving an offer from a carrier to lease a small portion of his property, with payments starting at $2,500 per month and built-in annual escalators of 2 to 3%. The global telecom tower market is projected to exceed $45 billion by 2030. Driven heavily by 5G densification, according to Grandview Research. There are approximately 150,000 cell towers in the United States, according to the FCC and CTIA, and that number is growing rapidly. Ground lease payments typically range from $500 to $2,500 a month for rural towers, and $3,000 to $15,000 a month in urban and suburban areas. The lease terms are typically 25 to 50 years, with renewal options. Let me say that again, 25 to 50 years. That's generational income. And once the lease is signed, you do nothing. The carrier or tower company handles all construction, maintenance, and operation. There are no tenants to manage, no maintenance calls, no insurance claims to file. Your startup cost is owning the land. Here's what most people don't realize. Cell tower leases have built-in escalators, meaning your rent goes up 2 to 3% every single year automatically. You don't negotiate. You don't ask. It just happens. And if a second carrier wants to co-locate equipment on the same tower, that can mean additional rent on top of the original lease. Some landowners with prime locations are collecting $5,000 to $8,000 a month from a single site with multiple carriers. This is the purest form of what I'd call asset-based income. You don't trade hours, you don't trade skills, you trade access. And the access pays you every single month for decades. Gary Keller wrote in The Millionaire Real Estate Investor about the power of buying land and earning from it without active management. Cell tower leasing is that principle taken to its logical extreme. You own the dirt. Someone else does everything. The dirt pays you. Business 3, Amazon FBA Wholesale. The idea here is simple, but the execution is what separates it from the other 2.5 million sellers on Amazon. You find products from wholesale suppliers, buy them in bulk, and ship them directly to Amazon's fulfillment centers. Amazon stores them, picks them, packs them, ships them, handles customer service, and processes returns. You manage the inventory spreadsheet. On RR Fulfillment by Amazon, a wholesaler described sourcing 15 to 20 ASINs from 3 wholesale suppliers and shipping pallets directly to Amazon's warehouses. Monthly revenue was $35,000 to $45,000 with 15 to 20% net margins after Amazon fees, cost of goods, and shipping. His time commitment was about 6 to 8 hours a week, mainly reorder analysis and supplier communication. His words were, "I haven't touched a product in 8 months. Everything goes supplier to Amazon warehouse to customer." Amazon's third-party seller GMV exceeded $400 billion in 2024, according to Marketplace Pulse. Over 60% of Amazon sales come from third-party sellers, many of them using FBA. The minimum viable start is $2,000 to $5,000 for initial inventory plus a $39 per month professional seller account. A more serious operation requires $5,000 to $15,000 in revolving inventory capital. Here's the thing most people miss about FBA wholesale versus retail arbitrage. Arbitrage means you're constantly hunting for deals at clearance aisles and liquidation sales. That's a job. Wholesale means you build relationships with 3 to 5 suppliers and reorder the same products month after month. The work becomes repetitive and predictable, which is exactly what you want from a low-attention business. A more modest operator on our Amazon seller shared his results from 8 wholesale product lines, generating $8,000 to $12,000 a month in revenue, netting about $1,500 to $2,500 a month in profit. His time commitment was about 4 hours on Sunday prepping orders and 2 hours during the week checking metrics. That's it. 6 hours a week for an extra $2,000 a month. Not life-changing money yet, but it compounds. Add 5 more ASINs and the math shifts. Add 10 more and you're replacing a salary. Tim Ferriss wrote in the 4-Hour Workweek about building businesses that leverage existing fulfillment systems so you don't have to build your own. Amazon FBA is literally that concept brought to life. You're renting Amazon's $100 billion logistics machine for a percentage of each sale. Business 2, laundromats with remote monitoring. This isn't your grandmother's laundromat. The modern version is a technology business disguised as a coin-operated one, except the coins are gone too. On our sweaty startup, one of the most cited success stories is a user who purchased a failing laundromat for $80,000, including equipment. He invested $35,000 in upgrades, specifically new card and app payment systems through spider wash, security cameras, LED lighting, and fresh paint. That $115,000 total investment turned into a remotely managed operation, generating $12,000 to $15,000 a month in revenue. His time on site was about 3 to 4 hours a week, 2 visits for cleaning and restocking vending machines. He said, "I manage everything from my phone. I can see every machine's status, revenue per cycle, and even watch the live camera feed. If a machine goes down, I get an alert and schedule a tech." On our laundromat, another operator managing 3 laundromats described using Sense, a laundromat management platform, to monitor all locations remotely. Combined monthly revenue was $35,000 to $40,000. He employed 1 part-time attendant per location for 4 hours a day and managed everything else through the app. Net profit across all 3 was approximately $12,000 to $15,000 a month. The U.S. laundromat industry is valued at approximately $5 to $7.2 billion, depending on the source. There are about 29,500 laundromats in the country. And here's the number that matters most. The industry has a 94.8% survival rate at 5 years. Compare that to restaurants, where roughly half close within the first year. Card and app payments eliminate the need for coin collection and trips to the bank. Remote monitoring platforms show real-time machine status, revenue, and maintenance alerts. Security cameras provide 24/7 visibility from your phone. Customers serve themselves. There are no appointments, no interaction required. And the demand never goes away because people will always need clean clothes. Michael Gerber calls this the difference between working in your business and working on your business. The technology didn't change the business. It changed the owner's relationship to the business. Business 1, automated car washes with unlimited memberships. This is the one I saved for last because it combines everything we've talked about today. Recurring revenue, automation, minimal daily involvement, and a moat that gets wider every year. On our sweaty startup, A car wash owner shared that after 18 months of operation, his express tunnel wash had approximately 2,800 monthly members paying an average of $30 per month for unlimited washes. Membership revenue alone was $84,000 a month. Total monthly revenue, including single washes and add-ons, was approximately $120,000 a month. He employs 6 part-time attendants and a manager, and his personal time commitment is about 5 to 10 hours a week of oversight and financial review. His words were, "The membership model changed everything. Before memberships, revenue was unpredictable. Now 70% of our revenue is locked in on the first of every month." The U.S. car wash industry is valued at approximately $15 to $18.7 billion. The International Car Wash Association reports that membership programs now account for 50 to 70% of revenue at top-performing express washes. A customer paying $35 a month for unlimited washes, who visits 4.2 times a month, is paying about $8.33 per wash, far less than the $15 single wash price. They feel like they're winning, and you collect $35 every month whether they show up or not. Yes, the startup cost is high. A new express tunnel car wash runs $3 to $7 million, including land, construction, equipment, and water reclamation. Acquiring an existing one costs $1 to $4 million, depending on location and revenue. But the returns match the investment. Profit margins for well-run express tunnels range from 25 to 45%. And the business has attracted massive private equity interest, with chains like Mr. Car Wash operating over 1,000 locations. Let's do the math one more time. 2,800 members at $30 a month is $84,000 in revenue before a single walk-up customer arrives. That's over $1 million a year in recurring revenue from a machine that washes cars while you check your phone. Walker Deibel wrote in Buy Then Build about acquiring existing businesses and systematizing them. The car wash membership model is exactly that. You acquire the asset, install the system, build the recurring revenue base, and step back. The machine does the work, the membership does the selling, and the owner does the thinking. Now, here's the thing that connects all 12 of these businesses. None of them require brilliance. None of them require a degree. None of them require you to be the smartest person in the room. What they require is the discipline to build a system and then leave it alone. Every single one follows the same formula. You invest once, either money, time, or both. You set up a system that serves customers without you being physically present. And then the system pays you every week, every month, or every day, regardless of what you're doing. Let me tell you about 2 people. Marcus spent 3 years chasing exciting startup ideas, a subscription box company, a tech app, a content agency. Each one demanded 60 hours a week and died within 18 months. He was brilliant. Everybody said so. But brilliance didn't pay his rent when his latest venture folded. Elena bought 3 cargo trailers, set up 2 ice machines, and leased her parking lot to Spot Hero. Nobody would call her ideas brilliant. There was no pitch deck, no investor meeting, no launch party. Total time investment, maybe 8 hours a week. Total monthly income after 2 years, over $11,000. Marcus is still looking for the next big thing. Elena's checking her bank app from a coffee shop on a Tuesday morning. The uncomfortable truth is that the businesses that need you the least are usually the ones that pay you the most. Not because they're more profitable per transaction, but because they keep paying whether you show up or not. That's the difference between a job and an asset. Ask yourself this: if you got sick for 3 weeks and couldn't work, would your income stop? If the answer is yes, you don't own a business. You own a job with extra steps. The 12 businesses on this list keep depositing money whether you're at the office, at the hospital, or on a beach. And that's not passive income in the internet guru sense. That's just smart design. The question isn't which of these businesses is the best. The question is, which one can you start with what you have right now? A trailer, a parking space, a newsletter, a piece of land. Whatever it is, the asset is waiting. You just have to stop trading hours and start building systems. Hit that like button. It helps more than you think. Subscribe if you want to keep learning about how ordinary people build real wealth with boring businesses. Tell me in the comments, which of these 12 surprised you the most? I'm John, and I'll see you in the next one.